or download an A-Games formula.
3, 2, 1.
Hey all my Crimsonites, and welcome to the Crimson Cure channel, where we embrace our femininity, increase our womanly values, and celebrate our brothers. So join me on our feminine journey to learn, heal, and grow. Hey, how is everybody? Hey everybody, all my sisterins, all my brethrens. We are going to get into it today. We're gonna sort of piggyback off of the video that I did earlier about Black women not wanting to be women or being tired of being women. Now, the lady that I featured in the video, she was capped. But she was only capped when she started talking about how the men was all over her and da-da-da-da-da. She wasn't capping about what she wasn't going to do for a man, though. She wasn't capping about not liking to be a woman. That actually, she meant that. I believe that she meant that. So we're going to talk about Black women being tired of being women. And, you know, we shouldn't have to go through not all, you know, and all that. Thank you, Notorian, for kicking it off, sweetheart. Not all and it ain't everybody. We already know. We already know. Because lionesses love being women. Because we know how to be women. And we know that it's not always easy to go through some of the things that are unique to women. But we enjoy being women nevertheless. We understand our feminine power. It has helped us more times than it has hurt us for the most part. So lionesses don't mind being women. We don't mind being women. It comes with its challenges, and we just accept that. But the hyenas don't enjoy being hyenas. The boneyard is a cold, dusty, musty place. And they don't like being in it, which is why they venture to the Pride Land sometimes, and, you know, to enjoy the sunlight. And then when a lion catches wind of them sitting in the grass and not in the boneyard, they gotta, you know, up. Gotta go. Just skedaddle on out of there. Okay. Thank you, Norrin. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So, when a lion look around, is that a hyena? They gone ahead. They don't even want no smoke. They just gone ahead back to the boneyard. Right, Undani. I'ma head out. I was just trying to lay over here in the grass. Sometimes, them bones is, they stick you and all that kind of stuff. They sharp, So we're going to talk about just why a lot of women don't like being women, tired of being women. And they're tired of being women. We're going to talk about the biological issue that women have. And this is a thing that don't get talked about much in the Black community, because I don't know if we scared to kind of go all the way there or whatever. But we're going to talk about the penis envy. We're going to talk about the enviousness that a lot of these women have, a lot of these hyenas have against men from a biological standpoint. They don't like being women because they think it's more fun biologically to be a man. Let's get into it. They basically jealous of male nature, specifically male sexual nature. Women are very envious of male sexual nature. They don't take no pride in our own nature sexually as women and what that means. See, they get jealous of men because men, the first thing that they jealous of is that men don't have the same biological clock that women have. A man cannot be virile, right? If he don't take care of his health, he's not going to have good swimmers. He's not going to be able to impregnate women very easily, or his seed won't be a very good seed. Okay? But that is dependent upon health more so. The general thing, though, is that men don't carry children. Men produce their sperm every day. Once he hits puberty, his testes are in constant manufacture of brand new sperm every day. So for as much as he expends it, he can always replenish himself and have brand new sperm produced every day. We, on the other hand, as women, are born with our eggs. They are either viable or they are not. Now, if we keep our health up, we have better chances of successfully carrying and birthing children and things of that nature. But because we have a womb, and because we do not produce new eggs over our lifetime, women feel some kind of way about that. Okay? Women feel some type of way about having a much shorter fertility window than men. We can't birth children up until old age and death. We hit menopause. There is a time in our lives, if we live long enough, where our reproductive system shuts down. The baby making factory is closed. It's best that we do it when we're young, because we can do it back to back without really wearing out our reproductive system. Once we get older, that's not all that, efficient of a system. Thank you. Who is this? And once we can technically birth children, all things considered good with our health and everything, we can technically birth children up until menopause, which for many women start in their 40s or 50s. Okay? But once menopause hits, once those eggs are no longer traveling to the uterus for the potential of being fertilized, that window closes. And our reproductive system basically closes the store. We don't have periods anymore. That's why it's menopause, because we no longer have a cycle. That's the true ending of our reproductive life. Okay? Once the eggs are no longer being, taken from one ovary or the other, coming to the uterus, waiting to be fertilized, and if it don't, the whole entire uterine lining sheds itself and we start that process over again, it's done. A lot of women have a problem with that. They allow feminism, they allow, these messages to tell them that it's something wrong with that process, and that is an inferiority to the virility of a man whose fertility window, if he keep his health up, he can impregnate a woman until he dies. Now, the quality of it might be different as he get older, but at the same time, he could technically do so. Okay? And a lot of women allow these messages to make them feel bad that we have a biological clock, that carrying children is so taxing on the human body that we only have a short time to do it. A 60, 70-year-old woman can't do it. A 60-year-old man can impregnate a woman, yeah, but he ain't carrying the kid. He's not doing the heavy lifting to bring the child to birth. He's not doing that. He planted the seed. That's it. That's all he has to do. It's our bodies that have to go through. That baby eat us. It take every nutrient. It take every vitamin. It take everything. It's gonna take it. If we don't give it proper, it's gonna take it from us. Okay? That's why when a lot of women get pregnant and they don't keep up on their nutrition properly, don't keep their health good, they have health problems when they are pregnant, because that baby gonna take the best of what you got and it'll leave you the garbage. It's designed to live, and it will eat you in order to do so. On a cellular level, it'll eat you. Okay? So that is a tax taxing thing on the human body, on a woman's body. And then to birth it out, especially if you're not having cesarean sections, you're having vaginal birth. Now it's designed to come back, but that is not an easy thing. From conception to carry to birth is a difficult task. So our bodies can only do that for so many times for so long. And then age just stops that process. We cannot be ashamed or let no message come to us as women to tell us that it's something wrong with the process that God did. It's not, stop letting folks and media and wherever you getting these messages from, let them tell you that your reproductive life is wrong because it's shorter than a man's. Just because we don't produce new eggs, don't let nobody tell you your eggs is dead. They're not dead. They're inert. But they're not dead. You're not carrying around dead cells. Stop letting feminism and all that tell you it's wrong for you to age. Oh, you hit the wall. Okay, Ann. Because if you don't get old enough to hit the wall, that means you died young. Mad that our, thank you, High Frequency Radio. Thank you so much. Jealous because we are judged more on our beauty and fertility early in life, which is at its peak earlier in our lives. Men don't reach their peak until later in their life. So by the time a man is reaching his peak, we are declining typically in, our best beauty and our best fertility years. Stop being jealous about that. It's not wrong. It just is. Keep yourself up. Ain't nobody said you had to get ugly because you got old. Nobody said you had to be fat because you got old. Nobody said, okay? Because I got good genetics. My mama almost 70 and looked like she about 50. And has not been particular about her health either. My mama don't look nowhere near like she about to hit 70. She don't look it. She's never looked it. She's never looked her age. She's always looked a good 15 or so years younger than what she was. So all you got to do is keep yourself together. Nobody said you had to be ugly because you're no longer 18. You're no longer 22. You're no longer 19. It is what it is. That's why you can't waste yourself in them early years. That's why it's so important for women not to waste themselves. That's where you get men laughing at you about the wall because you didn't do what you were supposed to do when the stack was decked biologically in your favor. So you mad about the reproduction biologically. The other thing you are mad about is that you are jealous of men's ability to engage in promiscuous behavior and not be socially stigmatized because of it. Y'all real big mad about that. Y'all are big mad about that. That he gets to, if he desires, don't nobody care that a man has a 50 or 60 woman body count. See, nobody start talking about men's body counts until it gets real ridiculous and almost to them triple digits, because then other men start looking at him not because they're gonna call him a whore, but because they know that that man doesn't have any standard. You'll screw anybody and anything under any condition, because we're not even supposed to have sexual access like that, even in a promiscuous society. Because you mean to tell me you ain't never ran into a woman to tell you no? How far are you dipping to get to these women that aren't going to tell you no? So men will start looking at other men like, why your body count in the triple digits though? Ew. But we aren't going to get that grace. I don't care what kind of women's lib. I don't care what kind of sexual liberation. I don't care what kind of feminism. I don't care what kind of movement. I don't care what kind of slut shame walk. I don't care. I don't care what you do. The stigma will always be on women if we have too many sexual partners over a lifetime. Thank you, Gogo. So there was a female tech executive that publicly promoted egg freezing and pushback on marriage and relationships later in life. She wanted a relationship but found no one. Sadly, her frozen eggs were no longer viable. It will always be problematic for women because that is biologically based. Because women are always the gatekeepers of sex. So if your body count starts getting ridiculous and it don't got to get to triple digits, it's just, if you get to double digits, 10 over your lifetime, the stigma gonna be put there. So you let 10 men have you over your lifetime? I don't care how old you are. You could be 50. You had 10 men over your lifetime? So you don't have any standard for which man you allow yourself to lay with. Because you're supposed to be gatekeeping that. Because you have the capacity to bring forth a man's legacy. And you let anybody plow the field. You let anybody plant in soil. You let anybody come uproot you, play in the dirt, play it. You letting anybody do it. Huh. Okay. You're going to be called a whore. It's a double standard. It is what it is. You're going to be called a whore. You're going to be thought of as a whore. You're going to be regarded as a whore. And you're going to be treated like one. You're going to be. And make no mistake. Make no mistake. Men love whores. They love them. That's why there's always a category of whores in existence in every society. Thank you, Miss Celine. Said a lot of partners also shows a lack of judgment a promiscuous woman has. I've been passed over because I was never like that, and I'm happy for that. Yeah. See, the Square Girl Club, we got passed on a lot. You ain't gonna put out? No. Why should I do that? You boring. Okay. Let me be boring. I'll take boring for 200, Alex. They get exhausted, and this is what the women can't deal with. The lack of attention that comes with not being promiscuous in a thought hookup culture that y'all wanted. See how crazy it is? You wanted the hookup culture. Then when it got here, you didn't like the double standard that still applies. It still applies. It is what it is. You can think it's not fair, but it is what it is. I'm going to say this. Hey, Miss Sherelle, I'm going to say this and then we're going to go to a commercial. You're mad about the sexual freedom that men seemingly have without that social stigma. You want to not have the social stigma and move the same way that men have moved or that you think men move sexually. After these messages, we'll be right back.
Thank you for joining the A-Game Zoom meeting. Juan, start us off with your financial projections.
Oh, golly, Wally, what is that?
Wait, does he even know he's lying?
Why are his pants so tight? Oh, you just got the... Is he pop locking?
He does have moves. Go on.
Or the breakdance?
Ooh, I hope he doesn't split his tight pants.
Oh, go one. Go, it's your birthday. Go one, it's your birthday.
You better clap yourself, let's work. In there dancing around like you crazy.
Okay, that was pretty good. Now that Juan has given us his unauthorized dance routine, does anyone else have a dance routine they want to do? Okay, well, let's get back to showing the world why A-Game is the #1 herbal solution in the world. However, I kind of want to know why his pants were so tight too. But let's get back to being on our A-Game.
Stop being mad. We gonna jump right into it. But before we do that, bam, 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 bam. You gotta hit the like button. Bam, bam. You gotta We got 334 wonderful likes. And if we could get the other 300 or so people to hit the like button, that'd be awesome. Stop being jealous of y'all the ones that are competing in the promiscuity games and then being mad that you can't out-screw these dudes. You can't. Stop being mad about that. Stop competing with them in areas that they dominate. You're not gonna run no circles around him. You're gonna have real bad outcomes for doing so and for trying. Because sex with a lot of partners, just speaking on the biological, not speaking on the moral or the cultural part of things, but just speaking biologically, men just engaging in the biological act of sex does not do to him psychologically what it does to a woman that does the exact same thing, have a lot of sex with a lot of different partners. It breaks us down psychologically. It don't really happen for them. When I say they love whores, they do. They like the ease with which they can come to her and get what they get from her. For the most part, there are exceptions, goofy exceptions, but for the most part, they don't actually like to dedicate themselves for a lifetime to those women. They like what they like to get out of them. They like that. They want them over there so that they can get it. If you pay her, she's not going to say no. Women realize this. Now we get to the cultural part of why women are actually tired of being women. So you mad biologically. Culturally, let's talk about feminism and giving birth to thought culture, 304 culture. Okay? To compensate for the biological differences between men and women, especially in the sexual arena, the feminist movement encouraged masculine behavior for women in all the different other kinds of areas of her life. Thank you, Arpain. So she was to compete with men in all of these other areas too, not just the sexual area, but try to compete with him in the area of provision, money making, the job market, doing all of these different things that men have been known to do and have been awarded for doing, while at the same time denigrating and demeaning what women do, the work that women have done, and making that be meaningless to women. See, men were not the ones that decided that being a woman was meaningless. Feminism helped you do that. Feminism helped women come to the conclusion that being a woman wasn't worth anything, that we're not worth anything because we're not men. Because men can go out here and plan a whole city and plan a whole country and create a governmental system and all of these other things, create infrastructure to places. He can think about things from that perspective. And if you get them type of men together, he can do that with relative ease. Women have a much harder time thinking about the world in such external ways. And feminism taught us that that was wrong, that it was in that where we were inferior, that men were better than us because of it. And in order to reach a certain status or to be equal, quote unquote, with men, that we had to dismiss our feminine nature. We had to dismiss what makes us women. And it was real slick with it because it threw it off on the patriarchy. Well, men don't like female qualities. Men think women's qualities are stupid. That's what we got out of different movies and music and all of these sorts of things, different shows and all of that. So it would always show a man being real either abusive to a real feminine woman or very dismissive of a feminine woman, like annoyed with her. So when she was real feminine, you had the trope where the guy would be very, very abusive towards her, sleeping with the enemy. Real feminine woman. She couldn't breathe wrong without him going upside her head. That was the white version of Mr. Okay? That was the white version of Mr. Real high value, real, wealthy, real polished sort of guy. He speak very properly. He can go into any crowd. He can have any woman. But at home, he was a monster. And it didn't matter how submitted she was. It didn't matter her level of femininity. He was annoyed at the fact that she was a woman. I don't really watch rom-coms, but I've watched snippets of different ones over the years, and it always showed either men, either that abusive extreme or the other one, they laughing at her because she cried, or they dismissive of her because, she might not know a certain thing, or she might not, she not operating like a dude. She operating like a woman. So when she operate like a woman, that's problematic. Because she all over the place. And it showed men being frazzled with her. And so in order to get the man to not be frazzled with her and not be frustrated with her being too emotional and all this kind of stuff, she get this stoic, she get into her masculine energy. I'm very capable. I don't have to be emotional. I can get on the top of things. I can think of things like that. I can do stuff like that. I can work on things. I can repair things. I can drive a car. I can fix the house. I can go to work. I can be corporate. I can be a shark in the Shark Tank. I can get this merger done. I can get, And then all of a sudden when she is, in that energy, all of a sudden he has a new respect for her. And for her capability. So he didn't applaud her for being feminine. He applauded her for being masculine. She only didn't frustrate him and didn't annoy him when she was working in her masculine energy. So that's a message to women to say, men, it's men that don't like your feminine energy. He doesn't like it when you're emotional. He actually hates you for your feminine energy. He hates you because you're not more like him. He doesn't respect you because you're not more like him. Because men only respect masculine energy. They don't actually like or respect feminine energy at all. They actually dislike it and wish that it wasn't around them. So women got that message in their head, whether subconsciously, overtly, or what, that, men will only respect me when I act like him. So we have this cultural shift that happened. Feminism came along, taught us all this stuff, but it also taught us about sexual liberation. Well, men are sexually liberated, right? They don't have the stigma. We going back to the penis envy. We going back to the biological envy. They don't have a stigma like women do. But if we change the cultural outlook, if we, they only got that outlook because of cultural norms. So if we change the cultural norms from women having to have a stigma for having sex with men to not having a stigma for having sex or liking sex, see, they attacked it They attacked it culturally. See, they didn't just come out and say be a whore, right? They didn't just come out and say that. How they worked on women was saying, culturally, women are viewed as nasty if we even so much as enjoy sex. Y'all here with me so far? I need to know if you're here with me so far. It started with, well, you don't have to be a whore or nothing like that, but it's not no shame in a woman liking and enjoying sex. And I'm here to tell you there is no shame in that. They were actually right about that. But that gave rise to so many other things that they threw on top of it that didn't have nothing to do with that. So let me just clear that up right now. There is no shame, none whatsoever, for a woman to enjoy a sex act, because we were built as sexual creatures just like men were built as sexual creatures. We just experience it internally and they experience it externally. That's the only difference. Our body was built for pleasure. It was built for carrying and nurturing children, and it was also built for pleasure. Because I don't know no spot on a man's body that's only function is a sexual pleasure. That's the only, it don't have no double function. Our clitoris does not have a secondary function. It don't. It is there specifically and only to help us derive sexual pleasure. Anytime it is manipulated at all. If you rub it right, look at it cockeyed. Okay? It's gonna harden up and be ready. Like, we doing something? What we doing? Where he at? I don't see nobody. Cause I'm ready now. You done looked at me too long. You done looked at me 5 whole minutes. I'm ready. So there was no shame in women liking sex, loving sex, being fully immersed in that act, and it being a fulfilling, wonderful, beautiful thing that she do. The only issue that it has really ever been was that don't give that to every dude that come through and say hi to you. Just don't do that. But then they took that and ran with it. Okay, don't be ashamed of sex and liking sex. Okay, we good with that. Then it's like, well, you can be more free with your sexual expression. Oh, well, I mean, okay. With my husband? Because I can be free with him. You talking about being with your husband? I mean, well, yeah, but even if you don't got a husband, what you talking about, Willis? No, you just got to be, you know what I'm saying, free with your sexual expression like men are. Cause ain't nobody never shamed no man for liking sex. Okay. So you can just do it with anybody and be comfortable and be free. That was something that is actually alien to female nature. And culturally, they made it okay That is not for us. Thank you, 39 Dina. That is not for us. That's not really in our nature to be everywhere with the sex. Because of the way we're biologically made. I could end up pregnant carrying a kid. So no, it's not actually in my best interest to be super free with sex with anybody, everybody, all the time. That's not really in my best interest at all. So then we started getting into, that's how the sexual liberation opened the door for the thought culture. And then they started saying stuff like, you know, you can't slut shame. You can play the field as a woman, you know, saying that we're in grape culture. Now, here's the paradox. Here's where the real paradox is coming in at, because on the one hand, we got thought culture that's done ran crazy. And on the other hand, they're saying that we're also in grape culture. We're also at a time and place where male sexuality is demonized. Just like the lady that was capping in the video I did earlier, all the men just stare at you, or they cuss you out, or they do this, or they do that, and they harass you, and they blah, and they blah. And I like dressing sexy, but I can't really do it because the men are going to look and blah, 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 blah. So demonizing male sexual nature. The fact that a man going to look at, if he think a woman pretty, he going to look at her. And that's just is what it is. He may or may not try to act on it after or talk to her or nothing like that. But if she bounced by and she looking good and he liked the way the ocean move with the motion and all, he gonna look at her. And he gonna think about her. Thank you, Datorian. He gonna think about her. And depending on just how good she looked and how much he looked at her and all of that kind of stuff, that image gonna play in his head at least for the rest of the day. And it could be anything. The way her dress shifted when she moved to the side and the wind, it could be anything. See, y'all don't understand how men think. Y'all don't understand how they think. It could be anything. The way she looked up and blinked and then moved her, you know, he'll be thinking about that all day. Her blouse moved a certain way and the contour of her breast. He don't think about that all day. We don't think like that as women. We can see a good looking guy and not think about him all day. It don't do us like that. That's why, Allah say for the men to lower their gazes when they're out and about. Don't be staring every woman down because of how it do him. Because of what it does to him psychologically. He can't be looking at all these women. And that's a lot of the problem of what's going on with these relationships, if you can call them that, in this day and time, because the women have no more modesty, not in dress, not in speech, not in action. No modesty. Everything is hypersexualized. Everything is about my booty and about my breasts and all of this other kind of stuff. And men are constantly at a high level of that sexual drive. He's constantly being revved up and primed up sexually. And then you don't want him to look at nobody. And then you don't want him to quote unquote cheat. And then you don't want him, he gonna do it. He gonna do it. That's the way he's built. He can lower his standard of women that turn him on in order to have sex with her. If we had some kind of zombie apocalypse and men needed to repopulate the earth, he's got what it takes to kind of close one eye and imagine a better looking woman and get hard and do what he got to do. even if he's not all that attracted, so that he can perform that function. That's what he's biologically and sexually made to do. So if we had to repopulate the earth, he could do that. And you can go, you know, usually under pristine circumstances, he won't go no lower than a 6 or a 5. But if it's in the zombie apocalypse, he going down to that 2. He going down. If it look like you young enough at all to carry a kid, you're getting screwed by somebody. Thank you. Philip said every man leaves a part of himself with the female. Male DNA resides in the brains of some women, likely transmitted through pregnancy. Who wants that? So they culturally tried to even the playing field. That only caused single mother, baby mama, broken families, thought culture, and a lowering of the marriage rate, because as it became more thoughts than it was wives, men said, well, we closing the marriage factory. Yeah, we like having sex with y'all and partying with y'all and watching y'all make your booty clap and all that kind of stuff. We gonna make it rain on you, and those of us that can't make it rain, we'll try our best to make it drizzle on you, you know what I'm saying, and all that kind of stuff, you know. But when it comes to the marriage, I don't know, I'm not really gonna dedicate my whole life to you now. You were just on the phone last night. Environmentally is the only place she's not tired of being a woman. It's the only place that she's not sick of it. Do we understand why? Thank you again, Norrin. Thank you so much, sweetheart. I really appreciate that. Thank you for contributing your hard-earned cash. You don't know how much that means to me for all of you to do that. Environmentally is the only place that she's not envious of men, and that is because environmentally she's given leverage and power over men, which is why she don't want to give up reproductive rights. She don't even want to share reproductive rights. This is why she, you know what I'm saying, she'll never argue against the way the court system and family court system go and child support. This is why they out there arguing so bad about being able to go and delete fetuses and all this kind of stuff. This is why they do that. They will never like to be men in this environment because men don't have leverage environmentally. She's got the leverage environmentally. She's the one that can go into a courthouse and say this and say that, whether it be the truth, whether it be a half truth, whether it be a lie, whatever the case may be. She can go into these places and she can get things done against a man if she so chooses to do. She can ruin his life. She can meet to him. She can tell somebody that he done sexually harassed her. He felt on her booty 10 years ago. She didn't like it. You know what I'm saying? He could be on the cusp of a major deal. All she got to do is come tell the right person and say, you know what? 5 years ago in the back office, I was getting some papers together, right? And then he rolled up behind me and I felt the imprint of what I believe was his hardened penis on my butt cheek. And that made me feel so unsafe that I kept on working here, and I kept working with him in close proximity. But all that whole time, I was so unsafe and so unsure, about, I kept on working because I didn't want him to fire me and, all this kind of stuff. And so, I know he on the verge of this big deal and blah, 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 blah. But he felt on my booty 5 years ago. What he gonna do? Say I ain't feeling on her booty? And whether he did or didn't, he can't prove he didn't. Can't prove a negative. So now he just got to deal with the fact that she said 5 years ago he touched her booty. He may or may not have actually touched her booty. But she can say it, and folks is going to believe it. Folks is still running around here believing everything that them old biddies said about Bill Cosby and some stuff they did at a party in detail 59 years ago. You can't even remember your middle name or what you had for breakfast yesterday, but you can recall in vivid detail all of the things that Bill Cosby did to you at a party where all y'all was popping Quaaludes. Knock it off. This is what we dealing with. This is what we dealing with, y'all. Thank you again, Philip said. If these thirst trappers can get paid, you definitely deserve support for your work. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. But this is what it is. Environmental is the only place she don't be envious of men, because this is the place where she can exact her revenge on him for her being a woman. She's exacting revenge on him for her being a woman. I'm going to make your life as difficult as I possibly can, or I'm going to ruin it if I can. I'm going to take from you what I can, whatever it is that you have, be it a little or a lot. You know, just make things hard for you. You know, just make your life as hard as I can. Make trouble for you at every turn. I'm spiteful and I'm vengeful. And I'm bitter and I'm angry. I'm mad that I'm not a man and you know, whatever. So environmentally is where feminism gave women the right to take all of that bitterness and misery out on men in a legal way with little to no consequence for how she does things. I'm going to do a little video about the environmental consequence or the lack of consequence when she pulls problems. And how women don't get no consequences when they cause trouble to men in the environment using the legal system. I'm going to do a video about that. Y'all want to tune in tomorrow. Okay, but before we cut out of here, I want to draw everybody's attention to the Black Lives Matter petition. I want to be able to go. We were just under 4,600. So if we can get to 47 or 5,000 signatures by this time next week, I will be more than ecstatic that happened. We are holding Black Lives Matter accountable for their theft of more than $90 million from the Black community, from donated funds. We're also holding them accountable for that mission statement that they've got. We're also holding them accountable for building an organization worth multi-millions of dollars on the backs of dead Black men that they do not honor in life with living Black men. Okay? So we're holding them accountable for so many things. And if you want to be part of this movement, please go ahead and click the link, which is in the chat, and it is also in the description box, and become part of this movement. Sign the petition. It's completely free. Share it on your social media and also contribute to it if you can. Today's show was brought to you by A-Game. A-Game is the premier, the number one, the cream of the crop, the creme de la creme of herbal solutions for men's health. It addresses the blood flow in his body, which increases his vitality, his strength, his energy, and his libido. So fellas, I don't know what you're waiting on. Ladies, I don't know what you're waiting on. If you want your men to be on their A game in every area of his life, you start here. Click the link at the top of the chat, agameherbal.com. And please don't forget to get your 10% discount using the code Kendra10. Thank you so much. Miss Sherelle said, love you, love the message. I hope we're still going back to Africa. You know what? I want to visit the motherland on real talk. I want to go to Ghana. But thank you so much, Miss Sherelle. And thank everyone for their very generous contributions. I appreciate each and every last one of you. I want to thank everyone for hitting the like button, for listening to me today. I really care for you guys. I really enjoy coming here and speaking to you guys. I want to thank my support team, without which I can't come bring you this wonderful content. I really enjoy. Y'all know I enjoy y'all, right? Y'all my Crimsonites. I love y'all. And I couldn't do this show without you. So I really appreciate you, but I am going to go ahead and wrap this up, and I will catch you guys on the next one. Bye-bye, Crimsonites. Hey guys, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. And if you've got more to say on the topic, leave a comment down below. Also, don't forget to support our sponsor, who so graciously supports this channel by clicking the description box and the link for A-Game at agameherbal.com. You can go ahead and get a 10% discount off of your next purchase using the code Kendra10. This has been yet another Crimson Cure production, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.